This is Arabian Scent Files, the only fragrance series that treats Middle Eastern perfumery as a subject worth studying, not just a place to find cheap alternatives. Every episode goes deeper than the bottle. I'm Chizaba. Let's get into it. We are about to explore 5 different perfumes, 5 different bottles that show the range of what Lattafa is capable of. And we are starting with Opulent Blue Oud, beautiful blue bottle with a silver cap. If you watched episode 1 or you listened to episode 1, you've already heard me talk about Opulent Oud. It is the fragrance that changed my relationship with oud and with rose at the same time. So I didn't want to bring that one back. I wanted to show you what Lattafa can do when it takes something that I believe is a signature and goes somewhere new with it. Kind of like the same family, but different personalities. So where Opulent Oud is warm and sweet and enveloping, that rose that it mingles with the oud, there is a sweetness. Blue Oud is cooler. It's fruitier. The sweetness you get in the original, set it aside. What you get instead is fruit that's not heavy, it's not cloying. It's bright, it's present, doesn't do too much, and you still get the oud. The oud is very much, very present, unmistakable. The smokiness is still there, the spice is still there. It's that signature Lattafa oud DNA that you recognize. You still recognize it. It's just, like I said, this is like a different personality wearing the same profile. The projection is strong. Just like Opulent Oud, it announces itself. The longevity, I would say, is less than Opulent Oud for me. However, still lasts longer than just about anything else that I have fragrance-wise. It's pleasant, really good. But it does something for me that the original doesn't do. It shows me that, it shows me that Lattafa understands its own ingredients and scents well enough to just have different variations of them, take them somewhere unexpected without losing what makes them recognizable. Opulent Oud is what I would reach for if I want a full oud experience. Blue Oud is what shows me that I can experience oud, but something in a different way. So Opulent Oud is not the only option. And I think that is a hallmark of a great perfume house, to be able to take something that's a signature and have different expressions of it. Is this a rebuy for me? Not a priority at the moment. Opulent Oud for sure. But Opulent Oud is what I reach for the most frequently when I want this family. I think this is worth having. I think this is worth trying. This is definitely affordable. If you want to understand the entire Opulent range, definitely this is a good buy from that range. If you are new to oud and the original feels like it's too much, I think this is a better entry point for those who are new to oud. The fruits and the cooler profile makes it more wearable before you are ready for the full depth of what oud can do. My challenge, if you own Opulent Oud, my challenge for you is smell this next to it. Not to compare the quality, but to understand the differences, to understand how a perfume house can take a signature blend of scents and find 2 completely different ways for you to wear it. So that is Opulent Blue Oud. The next one we'll talk about is Camera Kawa. Now, before I got to Kawa, I finished Camera the original. And that's the one that gets talked about constantly. Everywhere you see a Middle Eastern fragrance list or there's a conversation about Lattafa, more often than not, Lattafa Camera, the original one, is on that list somewhere. So that was amongst the first ones I got. I had it, I wore it, I completely finished the bottle, but I will not rebuy it. And that is because somewhere along the line, when I picked up Kawa, when I had the original, I discovered this one does something for me that the original does not do. It has weight without the sweetness that the original has. The original is not too sweet, but this one doesn't have that. This one gives you spice. This one gives you depth. And the first spray just is really nice, like spice with an edge. And then it has coffee that gives it depth, but the coffee is not in your face. It's not overt. You don't spray this and immediately think, oh, there's coffee in here. Like, it takes you a moment to identify that's what it is. There is cardamom, in it as well. Like you get the depth immediately. If you compare this with the original, it's very easy to identify the difference. And that's how I figured out actually that coffee was in here. Is I compared the original with this one to see what was different. This one was clearly my favorite. I was like, oh, there is something here that's different. And I went looking to see what was different between both. But this, you don't spray this and immediately think, oh, there's coffee in here. I want to say something about a comparison that follows Kawa everywhere. Everywhere I look, everybody says it's a Kilian Angel's Shea alternative. Some people use the word dupe, but I prefer to use the word alternative. Kilian's Angel's Shea is a beautiful fragrance. I have had the opportunity to test a sample or a decanted version of it. But Kilian's Angel's Shea is a French house that's romanticizing a whiskey cellar. It's warm, it's boozy, it's rich, and I really understand why people love it. But Camera Kawa is not that. It's more spice, cardamom, coffee, and it's more of that other than boozy. Camera Kawa is pulling from a tradition that predates the cognac tradition entirely. So calling this a Kilian alternative because they both feel warm and rich is like saying two different different stories are the same book because they make you feel the same way. This is not echoing something Western. This is the source of something Western. Personally, for me, there are days when I'm withdrawn, when I'm moody, when I'm stubborn about life, and I'm not in the mood to be happy-go-lucky or to be jovial. When I need to feel weighty and grounded, but I don't want the richness of oud, this is what I reach for. On those days, this is what I put on, not for anybody else, just for the version of me that I need to feel for that day. Will I rebuy this? Yes, without question. This bottle won. I finished Camera, I walked away from it. This one is staying. My challenge to you, if you have been sleeping on Camera Kawa because everyone only talks about the original, go and find it and try it. They are not the same fragrance. They're not even having the same conversation. And the next time someone tells you Camera is a Kilian alternative, tell them what Kawa actually is. Tell them where this fragrance comes from. Because the story is better than the comparison. It's always been that way. Okay, our third fragrance we'll look at is Arabian Rouge. So in part 2, I talked about the designer alternative lane. It's legitimate, it's a real business model that Lattafa employs, but it is one lane out of 4, and this bottle lives there. Lattafa's Arabian Rouge is in the Baccarat Rouge 540 family. It's openly so, there's not even hiding it, and it's genuinely worth your time. The opening is fruity, but not heavy. It's not the kind that overwhelms you or announces itself too loudly. I pick up the pear. Like before I read the note, I could tell, oh, there is pear in this. It's delicate, it's identifiable, it's really light. Then you get the bergamot, which keeps everything fresh and bright and helps it to not tip into the overtly sweet space. Give it time, let it settle on your skin because the amber kicks in. Once the opening starts to simmer down, the amber kicks in, and then there's an earthiness that comes with it. And it's really beautiful. It's done well. It's warm, it's earthy, it's grounded, which is not where you expect to land when you first of all get delicate pear and fresh bergamot at the beginning. The journey from bright and fresh to warm and earthy is what makes this fragrance really interesting. It does not stay where it starts. It evolves. It changes. The one honest thing I have to tell you about Arabian Rouge, though, is the longevity. Compared to everything else we're going to talk about, it does not last as long as you want it to. And when you love a fragrance, that really matters. So, my honest relationship with this, I love what it does. I love how it opens. I love how it develops. I love the earthiness of it. I love all of it. But the longevity means I have to plan around it. I have to think about when and where I wear it. Like how many hours is my event going to last? Is it going to be a 12-hour work day? Is it a 6-hour event? I need to plan around it. And there are days when, if I'm honest, I just don't want to work that hard for a fragrance. I just want to spray it and go and just be on my merry way. So that's my relationship with it. And yours might be completely different, totally different. If you are someone who likes to layer, who is fine with applying throughout the day anyway, I think this fragrance will reward you in ways it does not reward me. So that means rebuy verdict is a no. This is a one and done for me. I like it, I will keep it, I will use it, I'll finish it, but I will not buy it again. And not because it's not beautiful, like I said, it's just I don't have the energy to always have to think about how many hours a specific perfume will last. And I have others within the same scent profile that last longer than it does. So my challenge to you for this bottle is to try it on your skin before you decide. There are decants out there if you don't want to start with a full bottle. The dry down on this one is where it ends its place, honestly. So don't judge it just by the opening. Give it time and let it show you what it can become. Our fourth bottle, Lattafa's Confession. And this one is different from everything else we've looked at or we'll look at. It's not louder. It's not more complex than anything else. It's just different. It's different in the way a quiet room is different from everything that came before it. I wanted to show this bottle because it showed me a side of Lattafa I did not know existed, and it introduced me to a fragrance note that I'd been smelling, but I didn't really know what it was called, which is tuberose. If you've never consciously smelled tuberose before, it's soft, it's floral, it's warm. It announces itself, but it doesn't do the most. It settles and becomes something that smells like it's always meant to be. Now, in this perfume, underneath the tuberose, you get the cinnamon. Not baking spice, cinnamon or cinnamon in the dessert. It's cinnamon, the spice. It's warm. It can be slightly sharp. It can be slightly sharp, but I would say the tuberose is the star of this perfume, but the cinnamon is the spine. Without it, her confession would just be, there'll be no depth to the tuberose without the cinnamon in it. And what I love the most about it is it does not develop. It does not change. From first spray to hours later, and it lasts a really long time. It's the same fragrance. Tuberose, cinnamon, is consistent. Like I'll spray it on my, whatever I wear it with, I can come back in 2 days and still smell it. It's still easily identifiable from first spray to end. So like Arabian Rouge where it evolves, this one doesn't evolve. And I like it because not every bottle of perfume has to be a journey. Some bottles need to be a destination. You get there from the very beginning and that's what it is. So her confession knows exactly what it is and it stays there. I had been smelling tuberose for years without knowing what it is that I was smelling. I've gotten that fragrance note from people, like whatever perfumes I'm wearing or other perfumes I've owned. This I liked so much that I went hunting to see what tuberose was. And I've got to say I'm a fan. I am a fan. I wear her confession for specific moments. Not because I'm going out or because I want to be noticed. I wear it on the days I want to feel soft and feminine and approachable. When I want to be met rather than noticed. When the mood I want to set is, hey, I'm open, I'm present, come closer. This is what I wear. My fragrance philosophy is that fragrance is an armor. Fragrance is something you put on before you face the world. And her confession is the exception to that rule. It's the fragrance for the days where I'm willing to put the armor down. So, rebuy verdict for sure. I actually already have a backup bottle. It is one of 5 or 6 fragrances in my entire collection that I will not let run out. My challenge to you, If you think that you do not like florals, try her confession. Because this is not your grandmother's floral. The cinnamon changes everything. It makes it feel warm and modern and not generic and sweet. And if you've never consciously smelled tuberose, pay attention when you spray this one because you will know what it is. And honestly, you start finding it everywhere. And that, I think, is a good thing. So we've gone through 4. The last bottle we will explore is different from everything else I've shown you today. I do not wear this fragrance. I don't think I will ever wear it, but I will always have a bottle of it. This is Lattafa's Camera Dukan. It's spicy incense. It's immediate. The first thing you get is the spicy, smoky incense that lands. Give it 30 seconds, maybe a minute, and then you start to smell the influence of tobacco in it. Earthy, it's warm, it's woody. It is not, by any means, it is not sweet and soft. It's really solid and present. But it's not a scent profile I would choose for myself. But it is also a perfume I will always skip. The first time I sprayed it, when I got it, it felt familiar. It reminded me of growing up. Like I stopped what I was doing. It took a minute to figure out why, because I'd never worn it before. There's nothing in my collection that smelled like it or that smells like it. But it reminded me of growing up. It took a minute for me to figure out the specific memory it was pulling from. So I went to visit the home I grew up in, and I was in my dad's wardrobe, and I finally figured it out. I don't think my dad ever wore Camera Dukan. I don't think he ever had this specific fragrance, but whatever he wore for formal occasions, for dressed up days, for significant days, must have had the same scent profile, because when I was in his wardrobe and looking at his clothes, I was like, yep, that's it. That is it. So I came home, I sprayed Camera Dukan again. I was like, yeah, that's it. It reminds me of my dad. Every single time I spray Camera Dukan, or even just put it on a test strip and sniff it, immediately it reminds me of my dad. Like, it doesn't even take 30 seconds to arrive. It just right away from the gate. It's like I sprayed and my dad is in the room, or he's in my mind at least. It's just his presence fills the space. He's still here. He's with us. He's well. I call him anytime I want. And still, this bottle holds the memory of my childhood, memory of him from my childhood in a way that nothing else does. And this is not a dupe or alternative of anything. And I think that's what fragrance actually is. There is no verdict for this one. Like I said, it's not something I would spray, but I will keep. Which means I don't plan to rebuy it. If I'm not using it, it's always going to be here. What I will say is this: if you have a fragrance in your life that you do not wear but cannot let go of, you understand what this is. You understand what I'm talking about. You already know that there are some perfumes or fragrances that are not about smelling good. They are holding something. And if you don't have a fragrance that's like that for you, I hope you find one, truly, because when it arrives, you will know it. Same way I knew as soon as I opened my dad's wardrobe. And so my challenge to you is to think about the people in your life whose fragrance you would recognize anywhere. And ask yourself whether you've ever tried to find that in a fragrance bottle. So we've looked at 5 bottles, what they've showed me, and what I hope they've showed you. I hope they've showed you that Lattafa contains multitudes. Fragrance that could not have come from anywhere else in the world. Fragrance that speaks the same language as something you already love, a fraction of the cost. Fragrance that is soft and quiet and entirely its own thing. And fragrance that holds a memory that is so specific, it fills a room with someone's presence. Lattafa is not a dupe house. Lattafa is a house with range and soul. Really good craftsmanship. Not perfect, no perfume house is. But I think it deserves more than a comparison chart. My verdict is, start with the gourmands if you're new. Go toward the more traditional compositions when you are ready. And whatever you do not let the volume of their releases convince you that everything blurs together. That's an unfortunate side effect of how often they release perfumes, but everything doesn't blur together. Like, there are standalone gems that are there. You just have to be willing to look past the noise. The best things in the Lattafa catalog are waiting for you quietly. You know, the way good things usually wait. So that has been episode 2. But before I let you go, let's talk about episode 3 a little bit. We spent this entire episode inside Lattafa. In episode 3, we'll pick one ingredient and go inside. The ingredient that shows up in more Middle Eastern fragrance conversation than anything else. It's an ingredient that costs more than anything else in perfumery. And surprisingly, it is the one ingredient that does not even grow in Arabia. So episode 3, we will be talking oud. And I'll see you there.